Hello and welcome back to the Fast Lane. In today's video, we're going to be taking this Audi TT for a POV drive. So this is the car as it currently sits, four-wheel drive Quattro with 230 brake horsepower. Now, if you haven't seen me do the reveal video of this car, check the card in the top right of the video now to see all the specs and me talking about this car in a bit more detail. So without further ado, let's get in the car and take it for a spin. Now, I have to say, I do absolutely love the interior of this Audi TT. That being said, I have got a video that's going to be coming out on the channel of upgrading the interior of my Audi TT. Just some little subtle things, but some things that will definitely make an impact and a difference to the interior, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. Right, let's get it started. So the car's probably already in efficiency mode. If we start it up, it will start probably nice and quiet. It's such a quiet startup, nothing like the Fiesta with its Asbo exhaust on it. This is a lot tamer on first startup, but trust me, it's not always this tame. Okay, so we're gonna hopefully find some nice roads to drive on today and kind of show you what this car is kind of all about. When you set off, especially like in efficiency mode, it changes gear at a really low rev point to kind of get that kind of fuel economy, and it's also just super quiet. I think that's part of that kind of Audi luxury that you get on the interior when you're just cruising along in this thing. It's so peaceful, so calm, like there's just no outside noise. Like you hear the wheels a little bit, but especially considering I've got those slightly smaller wheels, that noise is basically just not very noticeable, especially when you have like the radio one as well. The Fiesta obviously only has one mode, and that is just go. There isn't drive modes, it's not that fancy, but that's what I love about this. This TT has different drive modes. So coming out of here, it goes to a national, and I'm gonna put it into dynamic just before, and what dynamic does is it opens up the valved exhaust, and it kind of just sets the car ready to go. So if we do it, you might even hear the change. So I'm going to quickly switch it down to dynamic. I'm going to go straight across here. You can hear it's already a little bit louder. Turning right here, goes to national. I'll pull it slow, and then I'll put my foot down in 3, 2, 1. This car, the acceleration brings such a smile to my face every time. It's just so good, and those like DSG little blow off noises are so good. This is what this car is for. It's kind of like it's got maneuverability, like it's great down country lanes, but it's also great on a straight road just as well. With that four-wheel drive, that 2-litre engine, this thing certainly pulls. So like I say, you can obviously drive this in automatic, or you can switch it across and then it's paddle mode only. Put your foot down and you can shift up when you like. This thing has got serious power when you need it. I do love being able to use the paddles, because automatic's great and all. It's definitely nice on a long cruise to be able to just let automatic do all the work for you. But if you want to drop a gear and disappear, having the paddles here is so good. So I can just be currently in fourth, I can drop a gear. And those blow off sounds make me smile so much. And like I said, this thing, the way it hugs the ground, especially with the four-wheel drive and everything, the way it's got that kind of wide wheelbase, it hugs the ground so well. So on these kind of country lanes where you're going around corners, it just feels amazing. It feels like the car's on rails. And again, we can just drop a gear and disappear. Oh God, I do love this thing. So I recently did the video kind of showcasing the car, kind of showing you what it's about, talking about the specs in general for a car like this. But what I didn't mention in that video is something a little bit more specific to this car itself. So this car, when I got it, and the part of the reason I picked this car is because of the mileage. I don't know if you can see it down there on the clock there, but it's currently sitting on about 25,000 miles. And that's what I picked it up on. I've only had it a short while now, but that is such a low mileage considering this car is 2015. 2015, so nearly 10 years old, and yet only 25,000 miles on the clock. Now, I think that that is incredibly good for a car of this age. In dynamic mode, when you're in automatic, it wants to sit at really high rev range, which is why I like dynamic mode, because it opens up the valve, but stick it into manual paddle mode, and I can still cruise along in this speed, and I feel like I just like having that little bit of control over it. Which is why personally I do love manual cars. That's why I like the Fiesta. It wasn't really an option to get this car in a manual. Like, you maybe can with a TTS, I think I've seen a few of those, but looking around there just wasn't manual options for this car for what I was looking for. Especially not of this age with this mileage. For me, that is why this car was perfect. So in case you didn't know, I actually got this Audi TT from an Audi dealership. Now what that means is it should be in all top working condition. It's had basically full Audi service history as far as I'm aware, and that means that everything on it should be top notch. I mean, it's only had, like I say, 25,000 miles, so there should really be nothing to go wrong anyway. But at least I've got that kind of security that it's been looked after properly, and Audi have looked after it well. So bearing that in mind, I'm definitely going to have to treat this car right and make sure I service it regularly and just look after it basically. Of course, we talk about looking after it, but I also have some plans to kind of go a little bit crazy with this thing and do some crazy mods in the future. The only thing that slows me down with these kind of modifications, of course, is just funds. So obviously this car cost me a pretty penny, so now I have to do a bit more work to save up so I can afford to kind of customize it and make it my own. So that being said, I will try and get videos out, obviously with the Fiesta videos as well. Just when the funds come in, when I can actually afford to, I will get more modifications done to this. On the point of modifications, is there anything you want to see me do to this Audi TT? Is there any mods you'd be dying to see done on an Audi TT? Because of course there's cosmetic stuff. I've already got plans for the interior. I've got that video to come out soon, and then I've also got plans for the exterior of what I kind of want to do, as well as the really cool stuff of performance. Now don't get me wrong, you drop a gear, this thing disappears, but we can still make it go faster. We can definitely get some more performance out of this. So what I've seen just from looking online is literally you can get from a stage 1 remap without doing anything, so no intercooler, nothing like that, you can get 70 brake horsepower just from a stage 1. That is insane. That will push this car to 300 brake horsepower just from a stage 1. So that is definitely on the list of what's going to happen to this car. Now at the same time, to get more out of that stage 1, if we can push it a little bit further, what I'd like to get done at the same time is to get an exhaust on this. Now I love this car when it's in dynamic mode because it has the valved exhaust open, and that's when it gets that nice throaty sound. But most of the time, and especially when you're moving like this, it's very quiet. Even when you put your foot down, it still feels a little quiet for me. I mean, especially going from the Fiesta, which is like a driving ASBO, this thing is a lot tamer in terms of noise. It's still good when you put your foot down, don't get me wrong, but I would like to get a little bit more sound out of this. So looking around for mods on this car, what I noticed was there's a lot more mods available for the S-Line. Now of course this isn't S-Line other than the interior. The exterior is just the bog standard TT. So what that means is coming across exterior kind of cosmetic modifications is a little bit more tricky. Now it doesn't mean it's not possible, we're just gonna have to be a bit more creative. This is a really nice road. Let's watch out for Mr. Pheasant on the left. Let's try not to run him over. Oh, I do love the countryside pheasants, but they are a little bit silly. They will literally just stand in the middle of the road with a car coming towards them. So you always have to just be careful around them. Right, let's put the window down so you can hear this exhaust. It might get a little bit windy, but we'll give it a go. Every time, even uphill, this thing, the power just keeps coming. It's great fun. It is such good fun, this car. And then if I wanted to, I pull up the windows, I click across to efficiency mode, and we cruise. And it's as quiet as anything. We're cruising along, we're getting okay miles per gallon. Like, don't get me wrong, like currently it says we're getting about 40 miles per gallon on how we're currently driving. If I drove like this everywhere, I probably would get about 40 miles per gallon. However, what I tend to do is go from efficiency, I go down to dynamic, and then I do stupid stuff like this. It brings me so much joy though. This is what a car should be about. It's about bringing a smile to your face and just enjoying it. That's what it's all about. Oh, there's a Porsche. There's a Porsche in the rear wing mirror. Uh-oh. We could be in trouble here, boys. It depends. If it wanted to, I'm sure it would probably smoke me. Ooh. Tight corners. Down a gear. I can see it in the rear wing mirror. It's coming. Down a gear. Oh, I didn't mean to turn the music on. Oh, this is so much fun. Now, obviously, if you've watched any of the videos on the channel, you'll know that I'm trying to get my Fiesta onto a racetrack. That is my current plan with the car. So, obviously, imagine this thing on a racetrack. Oh, it would be absolutely amazing. I could really put the car to like its full potential. Because obviously on roads like this, you have to keep it under speed limit. You have to be careful. You can't be doing anything too stupid. But honestly, even on roads like this, driving at the speed limit, it's still such good fun. Especially on roads like this, man. It is such good fun. Here comes the Porsche behind, he's on his way. And it hugs round corners like this. It's so good. It's got such good kind of grip to the road. It does feel, oh, I'm still indicating. I forgot to stop indicating. I'm just loving this thing to bits. It is so much fun. Especially when you got a Porsche on your tail, it just gives it that little bit of excitement as well. Okay, we are gonna leave the Porsche alone and we are gonna head back now. The difference was, if I was in my Fiesta back there, that Porsche would literally be pushing me down the road. So what I really want to know from you guys is, what is it you want to see next on the channel? Do you want to see more content on the Fiesta? Do you want to see content on this? What is it you want to see me doing on the channel? Oh God, that is a big old lorry. Let's just ease it in here. There we go. Right, I do not want to go into that mud part. I'm probably going to reverse and then go forwards. I have to say, I am so much more cautious in this thing. Like, I'm scared. I don't want to scratch the wheels. I'm just so cautious with it. Right, so that is going to be it for this video. If you did enjoy, please leave a like and comment down below what it is you want to see coming up next on the channel, and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. But that is it. I'll see you in the next one. It's always awkward wearing like a big camera on your head when you're driving around and have to stop for people like that, because they definitely look in to say thank you and just just see this big bulbous camera on my forehead and think, what is this weirdo doing?